have a lineup for you today. Well, first of all, this is our Halloween episode number 2. We watched Friday the 13th, the original one. So we're going to tell you about that experience because I had never watched it before. We also just recently saw The Haunted Mansion. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so we'll give you a quick review on that. We're also going to tell you about our adventure to Howl-O-Scream.
Got a couple facts about Halloween. We did...
We're going to interview Nick and Amanda because they have some things that they want to share.
Who the hell's Nick and Amanda?
Okay, our daughter and her boyfriend.
So we're just going to have fun with this episode and keep the Halloween theme going.
Yeah. Introductions are in order. This is Nick, and he is Amanda's boyfriend. And this is Amanda, our lovely daughter, which you have met before if you've watched any of our podcasts.
AKA our producer.
So, what we want to do today is, first I think we're going to start out by letting you guys know that we watched Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th. And I had never seen it before.
I can't do this hat, so sorry.
Oh, gosh. You look so good in it.
Here, you want to try this one?
I don't want to do him.
Look, it's a Rabbit De Niro. Look at him over there. Hey.
All right, we got it going.
All right. We watched Friday the 13th. It was my first time. Nick, you had seen it?
First time. No.
Oh, first time?
The original.
The original, yeah.
What,
Amanda? 1980?
I believe it was 1980.
Yeah. You hadn't seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay.
So I saw it back in the 80s when it was brand new.
Yeah.
But I forgot how out of date it is.
Yeah. So what did you guys think? First of all, what did you guys think of it?
I thought it was, it was pretty good for its time, and I was expecting a lot of Jason, but there wasn't a whole lot of Jason until the very end.
Should we move that mic?
So Amanda, what were your thoughts?
Well, okay, I'm not a scary movie type of person.
Right.
So really, it was one of the first ones I've ever seen. So it was shocking in that aspect of, like, everybody's just getting slaughtered pretty much.
Yeah.
So, that's fun, but,
That's fun.
yeah, it's fun. But I've got to say, like, some of the scenes where they're, like, it's like they're screaming, but it's just, like, them frozen.
Yes.
It's kind of comical.
Yeah. She and I were laughing a lot about that. And I think also, I don't like scary movies either. So I was trying to keep it light. So we were kind of laughing at those funny things going on.
I think the slow-mo zoom-ins
were
incredible.
Yeah. The best part is...
Yeah. So, Amanda, would you ever watch Friday the 13th 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14?
Quite frankly...
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I saw it on such occasions.
Yeah.
Because we had to do it. It was Friday the 13th. And
in October.
And Nick came up with that idea.
Yeah.
Let's watch Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th in October, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. So the movie's going on, right? And people, one by one die. And sorry, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, don't bother seeing it. But anyway, so people are dying one by one, and we're tee-heeing about just the camera, the cinematography. Tee-hee-heeing. That means laughing.
Tee-hee-heeing.
Yes.
It means laughing.
It means laughing.
Don't be silly.
AKA laughing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Just for the people that don't know what tee-hee-hee is.
Yes.
Anywho, so the ending comes. There's one girl, she survives.
Spoiler alert, big time.
She's in a canoe, and it's just all nice and relaxed, and she wakes up from her trauma sleep.
So, up to this point, really, did you get any scares at all throughout the movie?
No scares.
Okay.
No scares. There was some suspense, but you knew what was coming. It's not that suspenseful.
Right. So, just to lay the foundation, it was kind of predictable.
Yes.
We would all say it's pretty predictable.
Yes.
The acting was not very good.
Sure.
The sequences, by today's standards, like the action and when they were going to get slaughtered, were totally predictable and off base, kind of like they would raise their arms and scream like they were already dead before they got hit with something. So it was just so the sequencing was not that good, and so throughout the whole movie, pretty much Joanne was laughing, and it was kind of laid back, and we were just having our wisecrack comments pretty much throughout the movie.
Right.
And we got through the whole movie, so I need to preface this as well. Joanne is like Amanda; she doesn't really like scary movies.
No.
And we all know from the last podcast, I do like scary movies. So Joanne and Amanda both got through the movie almost to the very end without any scares and just, a lot of commentary on the different things, right? Okay, now.
Okay, so... Thank you. So the girl, she's in the canoe. She's escaped being slaughtered, and she's in the canoe, and she was asleep, because she was exhausted from running for her life all night long. And the police show up, so the sirens from the police car wakes her up. She opens her eyes. It's very relaxed. Birds are singing in the background. There's soft music playing, because it's all going to come to a lovely end. And then... all of a sudden, out of the water, this disgusting thing attacks her. I screamed so loud because I was very relaxed, and all of a sudden she's being attacked. I screamed so loud, I pulled my blanket up to my chin, and I literally screamed so loud, I actually scared myself. Yeah.
That's tough.
And I think she startled everybody in the room by her reaction. We all jumped because she literally... was laying on the couch and was airborne. There was I don't think there was any contact with the couch.
Right. No.
At that moment.
And I screamed so loud.
Yeah.
And it was truly like a little 5-year-old kid hiding her face with her blanket.
Yeah.
And that scream was definitely the biggest jump scare of the whole movie.
Yes, it was. It definitely was. So, at the very end of the movie, Jason, who drowned in the lake, comes back and grabs the girl off the boat. So, the scary little creature was Jason.
Yeah.
And
it was disgusting.
Apparently caught Joanne completely by surprise.
Yes.
Did it scare you, Amanda, that part?
No, because it was funny. Like, the scene happened so slowly that, like, it wasn't very scary. His arm comes out first, so you're like, okay, something's coming out of the water.
Right.
And so, I'm just, like, waiting to see what it is. And, like, oh, man, the story's not over yet. Type thing. But apparently, the hand was not enough to prepare Jovi for what was coming.
Absolutely not.
What about you, Nick? What were your thoughts at that part?
The jump scare got me pretty well.
You didn't anticipate that?
I didn't see it coming. And then the whole blood-curdling scream as well, paired with it so perfectly.
That was right in the room with us.
It really shook me.
Yeah, it was like 4D experience,
It really
Jump scare on the screen and in the room.
I didn't know who was screaming, the lady in the movie or
right.
life. Both.
Right. And what's funny about it is I had seen that movie, and so much of it I don't remember. I remember kind of the premise, but that was one scene that stuck in my head. I remember it. So
the very end?
I 100% knew that was coming.
Okay.
And I almost gave it away. I almost said something stupid like, wait for it, or something.
Okay.
And I'm so glad I didn't, just by the response that we got out of it.
It's true.
So,
Yeah.
So anyways.
That's how we started our weekend. And then we went to Howl-O-Scream at Busch Gardens, Tampa. And that was my first time going to that. And does anybody want to share what Howl-O-Scream is?
Take it away.
All right, so Howl-O-Scream is an event that goes on practically from September, 20th to all the way to November. So there's haunted houses that you get to walk through. People jump out at you, obviously. And then there's also like these scare zones that you're walking just through the park. You think you're safe, but you're really not, because people will still, have chainsaws or shovels that they slam on the ground, just try to scare you, and they'll follow you, and stuff like that. It's a whole experience. It's a whole night of scares.
Yeah.
And you can go on roller coasters too if you so want
Right, which we didn't get to do because we really wanted to make sure we got into the haunted houses, which we did. I think we got into every single one of them, which was great. So for my first time, I think it's been going on for a while now, many years, and they've all gone, and I think I was expecting it to be a little scarier. Well, I think I was expecting it to be a little more scarier. There was a lot of gross things in the haunted houses, but as far as the jump scares, I didn't get, I did, there was the perfect one.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
She's saying she wasn't scared, but I was watching her, she was holding on to his arm the whole night.
It's true.
Screaming, running.
It's true.
I don't know what she's saying right now.
Okay. So, yes.
She's trying to be tough for the viewers and listeners.
For our first haunted house, I was latched onto Carl and basically probably just destroyed the circulation in his arm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then once we got through that one, then I was like, okay, I kind of know what to expect. Not that big of a deal moving forward. Mm-hmm. Although, I will say, as I was going through each haunted house, I was peering around all the corners before I took the corner, just to see if there was something there. So, and a few more times, which was fun. But then the best one for me was we're walking through the park and we're in one of the areas that Amanda was describing where they have people that, will jump out at you and whatnot. And this big fog machine let out this huge thing of fog, and you literally couldn't see a foot in front of you. So I'm like doing this, waving the fog out from in front of me, and I see someone and I scream, and then he hears me scream and he screamed and jumped, and he was just a regular guy. He wasn't even a worker at the park.
Yeah. So biggest scare for the night for her was some other guy that she scared.
It was so funny. Her, so how about you guys? What were your scary moments?
A notable thing. So it didn't happen this year because they changed the houses up, but I will mention a funny experience I had at the same park a few years ago. So they had like a clown, it was like a circus house or something like that, and little preface, I have a fear of frogs. And so, back in the day, I was always trying to be all tough and stuff, so I didn't act scared at all. It was like me and my cousin, right? We're walking through, I'm having a good time. I'm the tough one, of course. Trying to be, at least.
Yeah.
I don't scream once. I don't run. Everything's good. All of a sudden, at the very end, so they have these things. It's like a catapult. Not a catapult. What would you call that? Like a slingshot?
Yes.
It's like a human slingshot.
Slingshot, yes.
Where, like, they're suspended back, and then all of a sudden, when you walk by, they, like, catapult towards you and usually, like, scream or do something. Anyways, so I'm walking through. It's the very end. I'm about to get out of the house. And this person dressed up as a frog.
Oh!
I kid you not. A frog human thing comes flying up, and I screamed. I don't scream, but I ran away so fast.
That was good. That's a good one.
I mean, you would never imagine.
Right.
Your biggest fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
A life-size frog on a bungee cord swinging at you.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was awful.
It's crazy, like in hindsight, where it's like, I'm going to dress up as a frog and jump at people.
Right.
It can't be that scary.
Yeah.
But it's perfectly designed for you.
Yes, that's so funny.
They knew you were coming. And they saved it for the end.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was safe.
That's so
never
funny.
Are, though.
What about you, Nick?
I think, honestly, the biggest scares for me that night were like the regular workers. There were some times we would like kind of pretty much finish the house.
Yeah.
And there would be some workers directing. They're dressed up, but not in like full costume as some of the other workers that are trying to scare you. And I would be finishing it up, and they would be directing you, okay, go this direction, and pointing in the way that they want you to go. And I'd just like stroll on past, and right as she's next to my ear would like jump at me and scream at me. And that would totally catch me by surprise, because I would not expect them to jump at me.
That's right.
And so that actually happened like twice that night.
Okay, nice.
So that was the biggest scare for me.
Nice. That's good. How about you, Carl?
You screaming in my ear and cutting off my circulation to my arm.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, did you get some jump scares? You did. I know you did. I saw you.
There were a couple, because innately, I guess when I go through the houses, I'm always peering in the corners where people are going to hide, because that's just natural for me, because I want to know what's around the corner. And a lot of them I kind of saw coming, but then I think as the night went on, I was getting tired and letting my guard down a little bit. And they were creative with where they had some of the people hiding and things jumping out. So there was a couple. There were two people dressed up in black, like on the floor. And you almost couldn't tell if they were mannequins or if they were real.
Right.
So as I'm walking by, I'm literally staring at it. And as I'm staring at it, I'm like, it's going to jump. And it jumped. And it did make me jump. So.
Okay. Nice.
But, anyway, so they had a couple. And it's fun to be scared, because you get scared and then you giggle because you know you're safe. You're in a place where you're going there to have fun.
Yeah.
So, it's to me it's the same experience of kind of watching a good scary movie. You watch it and you get some jump scares, you laugh a little bit, or satisfaction when it's over and comes to a conclusion. Kind of same thing with the haunted house. You go through it, you get scared a little bit, you laugh. Especially when you're with a group of people. I think it's
that's
more fun.
Yeah.
To do that.
For sure, yeah.
Did you share with the podcast of your experience at the haunted houses in Orlando a few years back? How you would react most of the times?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you have to say it.
So, I do.
Do what you want.
Well, all right. So we went to, I don't know, Universal? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it doesn't matter though.
I think so. A different theme park years ago when the kids were little. We went to a theme park and they had movie-specific props and haunted houses. So we went to this one because we were all, at the time, watching The Walking Dead when it was kind of new. And this had a Walking Dead theme. It had several other movies. I don't remember what they were, but just some of the more popular movies at the time. You'd walk through the house and it was set up with that theme. And it was pretty good. They actually did a really good job. And I don't know how to say it, but I guess I'm very defensive. I don't like people getting into my personal space. And in this one particular one, maybe a couple, the individual jumped out and literally got right in my face, and just instinctively because I couldn't, he got to me so quick that I couldn't extend my full arm, so basically I extended my elbow into his chest to stop him.
Which is a big no-no.
Yeah, so I implanted my elbow into his sternum, and...
Well said.
And drew back with my other hand because it caught me completely off guard. And we were both, he froze and I stopped, and we're both staring in each other's eyes like, what's next?
Yeah.
Who's swinging first?
Yeah.
Don't take it outside.
Yeah. So he kind of just like stared me down and slowly backed up, and I stared him down and held my ground. And then we went about our way in different ways. So,
That's funny.
And everybody behind me was cracking up laughing at me.
Yeah.
Well,
of course. Of course.
Put on a show.
So,
Yeah.
well, hey, what can I say?
Okay, no, I'm pretty sure I saw your fists come up a little bit
Yeah.
as we were walking through.
I
but
can't say that I don't assume a defensive pose sometimes when I'm startled. It just happens, So,
Yeah, no, we used to, continuing on that note, we used to try to, when we were kids, us three would run around the house, we would try to, scare people as they come around the corner, and usually it was our dad who we would like to scare. But unfortunately, we would try to scare him, and his fists would come up, and we're like, oh, and we would run away. I didn't see that coming, even though we did it every time. It's like, well, all right, don't scare him anymore.
That's funny.
Oops.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask Nick, unless there's something else about the haunted places that we've done, any other fun stories?
Well, I don't know if this will make the cut, but anyways, in the one, Andrew was in there with us, and we're all walking through.
Come over here and say hi, Andrew.
Yeah. Come up, peek behind if you can, and just say hi.
Get in there. You got it. Nice.
So that actually come back and do it again, like down low, so they can see your face.
Right between Daddy and Amanda.
Yeah, because all they see is the AC/DC shirt. Kneel
Squat
down.
down right here.
Kneel down.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
There's Andrew.
Hey.
So say hi, buddy. So that's Andrew. With Andrew, we're all going through the haunted house. And Andrew does like scary shows. He loves The Walking Dead. But he gets startled too, just like everybody else. And when he gets startled, instead of screaming or yelling out in fear, what do you do, Andrew?
Yes, he does. That's his fear reaction.
That's pretty much his reaction. So we're going through the haunted house, and instead of screams, behind us or in front of us, you hear, hoo, hoo, hoo.
Yeah.
And he's getting the crap scared out of him.
Yes.
And in this one particular house, a guy came jumping out, running towards him, and he started hopping on one foot.
Like the Three Stooges.
Like the Three Stooges, and going, ooh, ooh, ooh.
It's true.
It actually cracked up
the worker.
The actor,
the actor
who was doing this scare, and he started cracking up, laughing at Andrew's response.
It was really funny.
It was actually fun.
It was.
Yeah.
A fun thing to do and see.
I was walking next to Andrew in a few of the houses, and that being his response, it honestly catches the workers off guard.
Yes.
Like their eyes get big. They're like it's as if he's scaring them back. Honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
It's like a really good defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was hilarious because the workers are just shocked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm sure nobody's done that to them.
Matter of
before.
fact, I saw the guy laugh, and then I also saw one literally almost jump out of his skin when Andrew did it. Because I was so surprised.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. It's so funny.
That's right. So
it's good times.
That was good. That's good. So Nick, I wanted to ask you about how you have a story. You have some stories about when you would decorate your house, deck it out for Halloween. So tell us about that. Share that with us.
It all started when I was actually a kid, very small, probably 8, 9 years old, and all of myself and my best friends, we would go trick-or-treating throughout the neighborhood, and we'd have a little gang of, maybe 9 of us, and we always went through the same neighborhoods. And this one particular house, this gentleman would sit in a chair and act like a dummy, and there was a big bowl of candy, and so everyone's instinct is to go run for the candy, and everyone would go run for the candy, and then he would jump at you and scream, and everyone would be terrified and running. And so you get the candy, and the second you turned your back, he would go into the bushes and grab a chainsaw.
Oh, geez.
A real chainsaw, and start revving it up, and it's super loud, and start chasing us. And we loved it and hated it. It was terrifying, but it was so, we loved going there. It was the highlight of the Halloween every year. Of course. And so it became an icon. And then when we started getting to the age where we were phasing out of trick-or-treating, we're like, okay, we need, the next best thing is we can scare little kids. And in our neighborhood, our neighborhood is pretty busy with people, and so let's do that. So we decorated the house pretty well, and the first year was pretty good. We got some good scares. It was our first time learning the ins and outs of where to hide around the house.
Okay.
And so then the second year, every year we have to step it up. It can't just be mediocre.
Right.
We have to go to the extremes.
Sure.
And so this year we gathered everyone and we started planning a week before. We're like, okay, how can we level this up to the maximum?
Okay.
And we started to devise this very dubious plan.
I love it.
That in hindsight was really foolish. It could have ended up not so great, but it was fine. It ended up working out.
Okay.
Bunch of kids in the neighborhood needed therapy?
Probably. We might have almost had the police called, which should have happened, which I don't know honestly why it didn't, but glad it didn't.
Right.
So we decided we had a fake knife, and we're like, okay, we need to traumatize these kids in the best way, in the sense, not actually, but really give them, give them a full experience. This is a haunted house,
Yeah.
So we had him. It was 4 of us, and we had one friend dress up as a regular trick-or-treater, and with a little basket, and we had him stage and go walk in front of a group of people that were coming down the street. And so he walked up and knocked on the house and made sure he screamed really loud, trick or treat. So he's just a regular trick or treater.
But he's basically a prop.
He's a prop. He's one of us.
Okay.
He's on the inside. And so we planned, and we had our other friend open the door and basically begin to drag him inside the house. Oh. And then I would step outside with a fake knife and pretend to shank him. Wow.
Prison style.
While he screamed for help, and then drag him into the house and slam the door.
Oh, wow.
As he's still screaming.
Yeah,
wow.
And so we're like, okay, and now we're waiting for the next group of people to come. They saw that, and they're like, oh man, that's really scary. Let's walk up to the house. But they just turned around and left. And didn't come to the house.
Oh, no, they got scared. Oh, my God.
Wow. So now I understand why you say the police should.
Right.
Yeah.
The kids could have thought it was for real.
It really, he was screaming for help. It was pretty.
Wow.
After that, we're okay. That was pretty foolish.
Sure.
Let's not do that again.
But you probably had a lot of candy left over to eat.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
Just looking at the positive.
So then the next year, we're like, okay, that was brutal, but too much.
Tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, but keep it to the extreme. So we went the better route, and we went to Home Depot and bought big planks of wood and carved them into giant spikes and put them in the ground. Stakes,
Nice.
giant. With 10-foot spikes, and put them into the grass. And we made.
Is this just you and your friends, or your parents in on it?
Just me and my friends.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And so all of our friends and their parents are my parents' friends, and so there's a little community of us, and their parents would come and watch the scaring happen and look at the garage area while
they were just there for the show, but you guys set all this up.
Exactly. Exactly. And so we had saved up money, and we had all of our little things that we could pull together, and we bought supplies, and we looked up how to make a fake body bag and hung it in a tree and sprayed it with fake blood and bought a fog machine, a strobe light, full 9 yards,
Passion.
full 9 yards. And then we got more people. We had 11 people probably, and we themed it in a junkyard. So we went to the house and got a bunch of junk. I mean, big piece of metal, wood, made a big pile, a big dog cage. We had somebody in a dog cage, and so we kind of took after like the actual haunted houses where you would walk through and people would jump at you and stuff like that, and then it all changed when you would turn around and then everyone would start to chase you. We had a guy with a big chainsaw and that would run after you, and one of our good friends was very particularly good at running on all fours.
Oh my gosh. That alone would freak people out.
Also, let's mention he's a hairy guy.
Very hairy guy.
So he's like a werewolf.
Yeah.
And you wore a werewolf mask.
Okay.
So he was the full thing. I mean, we tore up his clothes and the fake blood. So he was fast too. So and if the kid was under 15, he'll probably catch up. He's not doing anything, but
right.
It's a terrifying sight.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy with a chainsaw also running after you, and then we had somebody in a dog cage just going crazy and just a bunch of wild stuff.
That's awesome.
And that was, and then there was one pretty tough time where you have to go the full 9 yards even if you don't want to. And sometimes some kids weren't really convinced, and so part of the scheme was you'd come to the house, you'd knock, and somebody would answer. It would be one of our guys, and he would hand you a big bowl to take the candy out of, but instead of candy it was worms.
Not real worms.
Real worms.
Oh!
Real worms.
From like a bait shop or something?
Yeah, we went to like a reptile store, and
God, that's hysterical.
and they were like really big and really nasty.
Wow.
And so and then they would chase you with a big pot, and we'd give them real candy after the scaring.
Right. Okay.
And so
Wow.
yeah, and then there's one kid who was like, I don't believe that, I'm not that scared and all this stuff, and so I was like, the only way I can make this guy scared, maybe if I eat a worm.
No.
That'll be traumatizing. It would be like really scary. I don't know how it came to be, but I was like, you want to do it? No. And he was like getting like worked up about it, and I was like, oh, I'll do it. And then next thing you know, I threw a big fat worm in my mouth.
We've actually found someone that's trumped me with my love of Halloween.
Yeah.
You've taken it 10
Totally
times so
leveled
much
up.
further than I ever would have.
Yeah. Totally leveled
So
up. That's awesome.
So I probably would have loved to get in on kind of that, but growing up with our kids, and Joanne just didn't like Halloween.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to go evil or anything weird. I just didn't want to scare the crap out of my kids all the time.
But in hindsight, look at all the fun we missed. So.
Eating
He did that when he was older.
So
He was a teenager.
Well, I get that. But anyway, so I guess by today's standard, that's kind of hardcore. So, were you known in the neighborhood? Did you put it out like, hey, we're going to scare the crap out of everybody? Or did you just let them come up and get...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Surprised.
We did it for 3 years, I think. 3 back-to-back years. Okay. And then COVID hit. And actually, I think that big scare session, after we put all that work into, was the first year of COVID, just coming out of it. So, and it rained that night. It was supposed to rain and was trickling, and so we didn't get a big turnout.
Trickling?
I caught it, but I was going to give him a pass on that.
He was brutal.
Yeah.
If you're coming on this podcast, you're going to get some heat.
Sprinkling. There it is.
You got it.
Trinkling.
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Close enough.
In Miami, they call it trinkling.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had to go to college, and then it was kind of in that college era, but now Halloween was becoming on like a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well.
Yep.
And so that didn't do well, and so we just weren't able to go down to Miami and recreate it. Yeah. So, but every year that we didn't do it, all the kids would come and ask for the haunted house.
Really? Okay.
And so everyone was looking for it, and all the parents that were in the neighborhood would ask about it if we're going to do it this year.
Okay.
And
so people knew, and then people probably come from other neighborhoods just to see your house and have the crap scared out of them.
Yeah.
One year you made flyers, didn't you? You like hung them around.
Cool. And towards the end of the night we did that. We made flyers, and we even.
Did you charge people for
that? No.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
I'm seeing a future like $5 a head. You know? So, from this story, you know, I'm not a guidance counselor or anything, but your future, you should be designing and doing haunted things.
Honestly,
in Halloween. So, or even maybe doing some writing some books, doing some movies.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Screenplays. I don't know.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wasting time on all that college stuff. You know?
Oh my gosh. Forget about it. So, that's funny.
It's a true calling.
Yeah, it is a calling.
October 31st.
You have fun with it. You're creative, so that's hysterical.
Yeah.
I could see Stephen King doing that when he was a teenager. So, you know,
Yeah.
scaring his neighbors.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did.
Having the cops called on him.
That's good stuff.
In previous podcasts, we've talked about my dad a little bit, and you know, he's just very structured. He knew all the neighbors and everything, and I was a tiny kid, and it's probably one of my earliest memories of trick-or-treating with him, and he'd walk me around the neighborhood, and I was always a wise Alec, I guess. I don't know, whatever. And so I remember we'd go walking down the street. I got my little costume. I'm all excited, and I'm tiny. And I remember knocking on the door, and they open it, and I yell at the top of my lungs, "Trick or treat! Trick or treat! Smell my feet! Give me something good to eat!" And I stick my foot up in the air. Just being, you know, whatever. And they're looking at me, and they give me candy. And my dad's standing in the roadway out in front of the house. And I walk out, and he's like, "What the hell did you just say to them?" I said, "Trick or treat, smell my feet, blah, blah, blah." "Go back and apologize to them. What the hell are you doing?"
Way.
So it took all the fun out of my Halloween.
Did you go apologize?
Of course I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so, you know, then it was just like, and hold up, knock on the door and hold out the candy thing, and I wouldn't say a word.
That's tough.
Poor Carl.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I don't know, this is probably not appropriate, but, you know, I'm quiet by nature, and, you know, so I'll throw this story out there, too. So the middle school fight that I had, and, you know, want to be a tough guy, and someone pushes you, and you push them back, and then the whole school gathers around, there's a fight, and I remember saying, top of my lungs, because I'm the tough guy, and I'm putting on a show, "If you do that again, I'm going to kiss your ass." You know, and everybody stopped and turned and looked at me, and I'm like, "Shit, kick, I'm gonna kick your ass."
Awkward.
So between being beaten down, trick-or-treating, and then that, in middle school, I just became very quiet.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, I don't know if I ever told Amanda and the kids this, but when I was a teenager, I'd put a costume on, and we used to take dance classes, so you'd always have these outfits from the different dance classes. So one year we had these candy striping outfits, and so I went out trick-or-treating in that outfit. I came home, I changed costumes, and I went out trick-or-treating again, and I would get double. I'd go through the whole entire neighborhood.
Dang.
I ended up with so much candy.
Man.
So
That's smart. I don't know why I never thought of that.
Heck yeah, man, change your costume. Yeah, go back out. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
All this Halloween talk, where are you stashing the candy at?
Oh my gosh, I was craving candy earlier today. I know.
Let's
I do
dig
love some
out.
candy. I don't have any. I'm not buying it until the day of.
No candy taste test today?
No, not today. So we also got to watch The Haunted Mansion last night. So what was you guys' thoughts of it?
The new
Disney Haunted
remake
Mansion. Yeah.
or movie.
Yep.
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. What'd you guys think?
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
My favorite character was the psychic lady.
Oh, she was hysterical.
Yeah.
She's just a savage.
She was.
And sassy. She kind of reminded me of my mom, I think, quite frankly. But yeah, she was really funny. But overall, the movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. And you could see where they incorporated parts of the ride.
Yeah.
And you could also see where they could very easily make a video game out of it. As I was watching it, I was like, oh, this would be a fantastic video game. So, but I thought it was a good movie. It had a lot of humor in it.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy scary.
Yeah.
You know?
Good Halloween vibes
Yes.
without being like over the top.
Yes.
It definitely had a lot of the ride-esque scenes in
Yeah.
it. So I could see how they kind of put that
Yeah.
together. What did you think, Nick?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought there were some scenes that, even for Disney standards, was pretty scary. Or at least just creepy, I think. A
Right.
good eerie feeling. I was like, oh, wow, that's surprising for, a Disney film. But it was the perfect balance where it's, a good family movie night.
Right.
Some good thrills, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I
enjoyed it.
I liked it. I thought
The
it
parts I saw, I liked.
Danny
I fell
DeVito
asleep
was
a couple-
really
a couple
funny.
times.
Danny DeVito's character was really funny. Yeah, Carl fell asleep.
It was a rough week. Sorry, guys. It wasn't because the movie was boring.
No,
It was just
it wasn't.
Yeah, like something funny would happen on the movie. We would all start cracking up, and then like 45 seconds later, he would be on the couch next to me and go, "Heh." like what? Like, oh, you just got it? Like, you just wake up trying to laugh with us? What's happening right now?
Took me a while to process.
Yeah. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. It's tough.
That's tough.
Oops.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
You were saying Danny DeVito.
Yeah, no, he was just so funny
Yeah,
in the
he
movie.
was very funny.
It was great. I loved his character in the movie. He's
perfect.
He's funny all the time, but he was great for that role. Everybody actually was great for their roles.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on to another segment.
I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I thought that was fun having Nick and Amanda on.
Yeah, thank you, Nick and Amanda, for coming on and telling some stories.
Yeah.
And who knew that Nick terrorized his neighborhood
So
for all those
into
years
it.
like
Yeah, I
that?
love
So that's there's some hope for that kid next, or yet.
All right, so I just wanted to share some Halloween facts, some things that I didn't really know about. If you're watching this on video, excuse my taking my eyes off camera and doing a little bit of reading, but
It's very unprofessional.
yeah. What I didn't know about Halloween was that it actually started as a Celtic festival, and the name of the festival is Samhain. Did you know that?
Samhain. Does it talk about anything about All Hallows Eve or something like that?
That came actually later.
It did.
So originally it was the Samhain, and it was a celebration to welcome the harvest at the end of summer, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts, because they thought that the ghosts came out like one day a year or a couple days a year or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
What does
I
it
thought
have?
that was
Like
interesting.
how far back that goes? Like
Oh,
a year?
that's a long time ago.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's
That's
long
the
time
origins
ago.
of it.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So the other thing is carving pumpkins, and I never really thought about why do we carve pumpkins. I just knew that it was something that we do, but they would call it carving jack-o'-lanterns. So that really was called jack-o'-lanterns.
Okay.
Was the original. And it says it originated also in Ireland, and they used turnips, not pumpkins.
They would carve faces on turnips?
On turnips, yeah.
And do what with them? Just put them on display?
So let me read this. It says, it is allegedly based as a legend about a man named Stingy Jack who repeatedly trapped the devil and only let him go on the condition that Jack would never go to hell. But when Jack died, he learned that heaven did not want his soul. So he was forced to wander the earth as a ghost for eternity. The devil gave Jack a burning lump of coal in a carved-out turnip to light his way. Locals eventually began carving scary faces into their own turnips to frighten away evil spirits.
And Jack.
So I never knew about that.
So that's why we call him Jack-O-Lantern?
Yeah.
Because he had his lantern?
Yeah.
Poor Jack.
I know.
Wow, how
Well,
crazy
that's
is
what
that?
happens when you do deals with the devil.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
do deal with the devil.
Don't do that. So then the whole seeing ghosts thing. So, you know, Halloween's got all this ghosty stuff going on. So it says the Festival of Samhain marked the transition to the new year at the end of the harvest and beginning of winter. Celtic people believed that during the festival, spirits walked the earth. Now, I don't know why they believed that, but that is something that they believed. So that's the whole ghosty thing.
Okay.
And then black cats. So how did black cats get associated? So this is interesting.
I still won't walk. If a black cat walks in front of me, I'll go around and go the other way.
That is ridiculous.
No, it's true.
It's ridiculous.
You can't cross their path.
I do all the time. It doesn't bother me at all. So, but it says the idea of being spooked by black cats dates back to the Middle Ages when these dark felines were considered a symbol of the devil. Centuries later, accused witches were often found to have cats, particularly black ones. People began to believe that the cats were supernatural entities that would assist in their practice of dark magic.
Wow.
What a terrible thing to put on some poor black kitties.
Yeah.
They're just little kitties. Anyway, that's how it came about, though.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Tough for those little cats.
Yeah. Yeah. And people still get freaked out by them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm still, as quirky as we all know that you're learning that I am.
He is a little superstitious.
I am a little superstitious.
Which I'm not superstitious
like the
at
whole
all.
breaking mirrors thing.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I won't break a mirror.
Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me. I don't let that stuff have any power over me at all whatsoever.
The stepping on the crack thing, sometimes I'll try to avoid it, but I don't always do that. But the whole
That's
black
so
cat,
funny.
if I'm out doing something and a black cat crosses my path, I'm like, jeez.
Oh no, that's so funny. So we have black and orange. Why are the colors predominantly black and orange? So this says the traditional Halloween colors of black and orange also traces back to the Celtic festival of Samhain. For the Celts, black represented the death of summer, while the orange symbolized the autumn harvest season.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't know most of these. So candy.
All right, let's talk about
How
candy.
did candy
finally,
get involved?
The good stuff.
Okay. The act of going door to door for candy has long been a Halloween tradition. But until the mid-20th century, the treats children received were not necessarily candy. Things like fruit, nuts, coins, and toys were just as likely to be given out. Trick-or-treating rose in popularity in the 1950s, and it inspired candy companies to market small, individually wrapped candies. People began to favor the confections out of convenience, but candy did not dominate until the 1970s, when parents started fearing anything unwrapped. And I remember there was a scare because they were saying, people were getting poisoned. And, I thought to myself when I read this yesterday, I wondered, was that a big thing just put out by the candy companies to get people to buy their candy?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder.
It does.
But, yeah.
It wouldn't I'll just say this. It wouldn't surprise me.
And then as kids, we always heard the story about razor blades.
Yeah.
Don't get anything that's not wrapped.
Right.
And, if you don't trust the people you're getting from, be careful
It was
what you
this
eat.
huge scare.
It was a weird thing, yeah. I do remember
when
that.
I was a little kid, we'd go home, we'd have to go through every piece one by one, make sure nothing was opened.
Right.
It's quite an ordeal.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, you're right.
So Carl's favorite Halloween candy is candy corn, as you guys might know from last week. So I do have a little info on candy corn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear that one.
Okay. So a candy maker at and I'm probably not going to say this correctly, Wonderly Candy Company in Philadelphia is sometimes credited with the inventing of the tricolored candy in the 1880s.
Wow.
But candy corn did not become a widespread sensation until and I'm probably going to massacre this word as well, Golitz Company brought the candy to the masses in 1898. Candy corn was originally called chicken feed.
Wow, okay.
And it's sold in boxes with the slogan, "Something worth crowing for."
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And it says, initially it was just an autumn candy because of corn's association with the harvest time. Candy corn later became Halloween specific when trick-or-treating grew in popularity in the U.S. during the 1950s. So it was really an autumn candy, so why not just add that to the Halloween time? So those are some interesting facts. I hope everybody's not sleeping now.
Yeah.
But if I did put you to sleep and you got a nice little nap, that's great too.
The difference between me and Joanne is, obviously I love Halloween. I love the candy. I didn't know that the 70s really started where the candy started coming from. But Joanne...
Well, the 50s.
50s.
Yeah, and then...
So Joanne, I think, is an old soul, probably from the 20s or something like that. Because when the kids were little, she was on this health kick. And I remember one year she was giving out boxes of raisins, and then there was a little package of crayons in there.
Yeah, healthy
and I'm
stuff.
what the hell is this?
Yeah,
There's
he
no
beat
kid
me
in
up
the
over that. Not
neighborhood that's
physically,
gonna
but
like
yeah.
want any of this. They
Yeah.
want candy.
He's like, our house is going to get egged.
We're gonna get egged and toilet papered.
Yeah. But like I really, when my kids were little, I tried to make sure they didn't get too much of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I didn't want it in the house because I knew that they'd be getting into it. And I just wanted to set them up for a healthy life.
Yeah.
And our kids, none of them have cavities.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, and I thought, so when I was reading this, thinking about how they would pass out not candy prior to when it became really
That's
popular.
What I'm saying, you're an old soul.
Yeah.
Raisins.
Well, it made me think about at Christmas time, actually, stockings would be, they filled stockings with fruits and little toys and maybe little handmade items. And it wasn't all about candy in your stocking. It was really simple things.
We got 2 months to wait for stockings.
I know, but it just made me think of it because that's what people had to give. Everything wasn't like commercial like it is now.
Well, right.
So it was more, more handmade or just things from olden times.
Things weren't mass produced like they are now.
Right, the mass producing. Yeah, whole different story. Yeah.
Whole nother story.
So that is my information about Halloween and a lot of things I never even knew about.
Yeah, that was fun sharing some stories and
I like that. That was good.
I still got a few more scary Halloween movies to finish before Halloween's over, so I got to get busy with that.
I don't. I might watch like Charlie Brown's Halloween, Snoopy's.
The hardcore stuff, right?
Yeah. like the Haunted Mansion was great. It was very easy to watch.
So same question that you asked Amanda. So any more Friday the 13th?
I mean, I would never go out of my way to watch that now.
What if I was going to put it on? Would you watch?
Probably not. No, I'd probably sit and edit a video or something while you were doing that.
Okay, so no Freddy Kruegers?
No, it just doesn't bring me happiness and joy. Or laughter. Well, it did make me laugh the other night, but
it brought us laughter when you jumped off the couch.
Yeah, it did.
But I guess that's a whole other
That was
thing.
funny. Yeah. Scared myself, yeah.
Yeah, she's good at that.
Okay, well, with that, I think we're going to wrap up this. This
so
podcast.
thank you guys for joining us on our second Halloween special.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
It was fun having Amanda and Nick.
It was great.
Andrew popping his head in.
Yeah.
Hi to everybody.
Yeah,
so we hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right.
So see you on the next one.
Yep. Ciao.
Cue the music. Bye, everybody.
And the silver fox, Goldilocks, and the silver fox.